Alright, hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of War Machines. So, we are now halfway through the Last Chance Brackets series, a 4-episode series that will determine the 5 wildcard spots left to be found in the grand final for this season. So over the last 2 episodes, we went through the first bracket that wasn't going to determine any of those 5 wildcard spots, but we're going to determine which 6 robots would enter the final bracket that we are going to start tonight that will, in fact, determine those spots. And we revealed that bracket at the end of the last episode, so hope you're up for lots of those fights, because I imagine we got some real entertainment on the way. As for last time then, we saw Eric, Beast 2, Big Nipper, Micro, Aftershock, and the winner of that bracket, Bullfrog, punch their ticket into the bracket, joining all the runner-ups from the 10 semifinal episodes, where these 16 robots are going to fight it out bracket style, and the top 5 in this bracket will punch their ticket right into the grand final there, where all the robots that won a grand final spot through their bracket, as well as Iron Awe 2.1, the lost bracket winner, await them. So let's review the bracket quick before we get started with all the action. So right at the top there, the 1 seed was awarded to 900 right there, who is the favorite to win this bracket right there. Eric, PP3D, and Manta are the other 3 robots that fill that quadrant right there, and I imagine all 3 of them could give 900 a major challenge in their own ways. Then in quadrant 2, Toxic 2 has the highest seed of the bunch right there, but their opposition right down below, 3 more control bots in Beast 2, Brea Box, and Dystopia, who I imagine would give Toxic 2 a big run for their money if they were to clash with Toxic 2. Then over the third quadrant, we got Electric Boogaloo, who is given the 3 seed with that destructive vertical spinner, and 3 interesting robots await them right down below here in this quadrant. Big Nipper will take on the 3 seeded tonight, and then right below we'll see a matchup between the Axe of Thor, who is another one to not underestimate, and Bullfrog and their flipper. Then over at the fourth quadrant, the Razer is the favorite to win that quadrant with that Crusher. But then never underestimate Micro, Mute, and Aftershock, who are the other 3 robots in that quadrant. So yeah, it's amazing how hard several of these robots work to get here, and I imagine all 16 of these robots do not want to. I imagine all 16 of these robots definitely don't want their road to end here. But the road will end for 8 of these robots tonight as we complete this part, while the other 8 robots will be 1 step closer to one of those 5 spots in the grand final. So I think let's go ahead and get to what you all have been waiting for and get to the first fight of the episode. So the first fight of the episode is going to feature the 1-seeded 900 and the 16-seeded Eric. We're going to start right at the top for this one. So Eric, barely managing to come away with one of those 6 spots in the recent bracket, had to go through the 4-robot rumble that we had near the end of the last episode right there, where them and Beast 2, the 15 seed, clinched their spot here. But now they're up against another dangerous spinner in 900 right there. Eric's going to need to be on 900 right away, because I imagine 900 is going to try to get that drum spinner up to speed and start tearing apart Eric as quickly as they possibly can. Definitely a lot on the line with this fight. Let's see if Eric can pull off another upset here, because I will admit Eric's been a bit of a surprise this year, and let's see if they can pull it off, or if 900 can make a statement proving that they are definitely worthy of that 1 seed. Let's go ahead and find out what will happen here. Time for this matchup to begin. 900 getting that drum spinner up to full speed right there. Eric lands an early flip right there. And now Eric landing a few more flips right off the bat. But then it looks like Eric lost the flipper already. Not even 15 seconds into this match, and 900 has already ripped off the flipper. But Eric is underneath 900 and has a solid pin on them right against the rails right here. Eric, without a primary weapon, is going to have to resort to trying to control the bound of that match here and prevent 900 from getting those big hits they're well known for. And right now they have another pin on 900 right there. Even without a flipper, excellent stuff from Eric, who's definitely controlling the brunt of this first minute. We're about a minute into this fight. 900 now looking to get a bite right in the sides right there, but struggling to get the bite they were hoping for so far. But now they have Eric up against the rails and now getting some shots underneath Eric right now. And now 900 has Eric in the corner right there. They're just punishing that underside right there. This is exactly what 900 wants right there. And yeah, 900 starting to catch up on points right now, starting to get Eric up into the air, starting to have an easier time landing more bite in there, landing more bites in that drum spinner. A few more excellent hits right there from 900, who just continue to bully the weaponless Eric while Eric tries to self-right with that interesting self-righting mechanism while it's going crazy. Huge hit by 900 right there. Halfway through this fight, I'd say Eric had the start of this fight, but I think 900 pulled ahead right now, and Eric just needs to get something going and fast right now, because the points are really starting to stack up for 900 right now. Back into the corner goes Eric once again, and 900 just continuing to land a hit after hit, but we haven't seen much damage ever since. Well, forget what I just said right there, because I think that's a wheel that Eric just lost right there, and part of their self-rider is off too. Forget what I said when I said 900 wasn't doing much damage, because Eric now is driving a bit awkwardly, because I'm guessing they only have drive on one side now, and they only have half their self-righting mechanism too. Less than a minute to go in this fight. 900 really starting to show off what they can do with that drum spinner, and off comes another wheel right there. Eric spinning around like a ballerina right there. They're really impressive stuff here. We got smoke also coming from Eric too, showing more signs of damage. Now 900 continue to bully Eric around despite there being no movement. Less than 20 seconds to go here. 900 might want to back off or something. But regardless, Eric on serious control board damage right now. And 900 huge hit right there in the last 10 seconds. Is this fight going to the judges? Apparently not. Because 900 just got that last second control board KO right there. And Eric is done for by a 2-minute 59-second KO. I will give Eric a lot of credit. They started this fight out very well in this one. And got a few early flips in there, got a few pins after they lost that primary weapon very early on, but losing that flipper ended up being so costly for Eric, because it led to 900 eventually starting to get the shots they needed, where they ripped Eric apart piece by piece right there, knocking off the weapon, knocking off both wheels, which they are now the first opponent to get to Eric's wheels like that, and broke part of the self-rider and eventually got the control board KO. 900 will be advancing, where they will be awaiting either PP3D or Manta, which, fun fact, that is actually our next fight, as our next battle will be the 8-seeded PP3D versus the 9-seeded Manta. So we got two very different designs here. We got the undercutter of PP3D, who's surely going to be trying to get that horizontal spinner up to full speed and try to tear into Manta and get the control board KO. While on the other hand, Manta's going to be trying to control the fight with that wedge-like front and that powerful flipper that got them that runner-up spot. So definitely another great matchup I think is on the way here. I imagine we're either going to see a lot of destruction or an out of the arena, or maybe both, because we have seen both in the past. So I'd say let's go ahead and get right to this one and find out who's going to be taking on 900 in the next round. Time for this matchup to begin here. PP3D hanging back, getting that horizontal spinner to speed. Manta comes right in there, lands a lift, but now that might have been unwise because PP3D got a few hits right in the inside of that flipper and the underside of the robot. The spike trap's getting involved in this one, and that's giving PP3D opportunities to strike with that undercutter right there, but they seem to not be driving properly. Nice flip right there from Manta. PP3D currently hanging out on their side right now. Manta lands another nice flip. Nice shot by PP3D right there, who's starting to land more shots with that undercutter. A few more flips from Manta, and now PP3D underneath Manta, chewing up that underside, eating alive the flipper right there. They're charging right in there once again, and we got smoke coming from Manta. PP3D definitely seems to be doing some damage like that right there, knocking off the flipper once again. We see another flipper lose their primary weapon right there. Manta is in some serious trouble right now because they are smoking, no weapon, and their control board is now down 2. PP3D will advance to the next round. PP3D proved why they happen to be the higher seed here, even though there are many cases where we've seen the lower seed advance. But regardless, though Manta definitely needed a quick knockout in this one, and PP3D showed them why right there. Just knocking off piece by piece of Manta and eventually control boarding them, resulting in them getting the win right there. Another impressive and destructive performance from the horizontal spinner, and cannot wait to see what PP3D has in store for 900, who they will be taking on next, and will surely be a difficult opponent. But that fight will come in the next episode. Coming up next, we're going to go over to the second quadrant. We're going to see the 7-seeded Breaker Box and the 10-seeded Dystopia, a battle of 2 control bots. Yeah, so Breaker Box, one of the biggest spinner killers in this entire competition, has really taken it to many of their opponents so far. Even Sewer Snake, who they lost to in the first round, who they lost to in their semifinal episode, right in that final in what was a very close judge's decision. And on the other hand, we have Dystopia, who was also the runner-up in their semifinal, falling to Apollo after getting several great out of the arenas in previous matches. Yeah, so I think this one's going to come down to driving and who can control the fight the best between the two of them. Either way, I think another great match is coming. I think we should go ahead and get right to this one and find out who's going to move on to the next round and be robot number 3 in there. Time for this matchup to begin right there. Dystopia landing an early flip. I feel like this fight could go either way. Just depends on who can control the brunt of this match more. Breaker Box got a nice lift in there. And look, and underneath Dystopia once again, trying to land a flip, but unsuccessful right there. Dystopia landing a little bit of a lift right there. Nice flip from Dystopia right there, giving Breaker Box a serious amount of airtime. Another nice lift, and trying to get Dystopia out of the arena, but they just miss right there. Another nice lift by Breaker Box once again here, and a flip by Dystopia. Not a lot of power behind that one, but still, what a control battle we are seeing here so far. Breaker Box underneath Dystopia again here, continue to lift them up, but not a lot of flips right there. There's a flip by Breaker Box right there, demonstrating some excellent control right there. And Breaker Box taking Dystopia into the corner once again right now. No, but now Dystopia lands a nice flip, catches Eric by the Breaker Box by the sides right there. Another nice lift right there by Breaker Box, or by Dystopia. Another flip by Dystopia, who's starting to crawl back right there. Some more nice flips from them once again. And Dystopia trying to take Breaker Box into the corner, but they get Breaker Box out of the arena right there. A control battle between 2 great robots, and ends up being Dystopia coming out on top right there. Fantastic back and forth match between these two. Breaker Box getting underneath Dystopia, landing some lifts and controlling the fight right there. Dystopia getting underneath Breaker Box a fair share of times as well, and flipping Breaker Box up into the air, and eventually getting Breaker Box out of the arena, which ended up being the difference in this match. Another great showing from, honestly, both robots right there. Sad to see Breaker Box exit the competition right there after they showed so much potential in their heat in semifinals. Hopefully we'll get to see Breaker Box in another showdown, because Breaker Box truly is a fun robot to watch. We'll see Dystopia in the next round, who will be the 3rd robot to make it to the top 8. so far in this bracket. Either way, let's move on to the fourth fight of the episode, where we're going to go down to the fourth quadrant and go see the 4-seeded Razer, who's going to take on the 13-seeded Micro. We got two very different and very interesting designs that we are looking at here. We got the Crusher of Razer, who's done a significant amount of damage to several of their opponents so far, and even gave defending champion Eruption a huge run for their money in that episode. Then on the other hand, we got Micro, who definitely has been like a surprising dark horse for this season so far. Now they've come out of nowhere and bodied several of their opponents with that scoop and dropped that saw on them, and managed to win their way through that third place bracket in order to get here, and taking out several big opponents along the way. So this one's going to be interesting. I don't really know what to expect in this one, just because these two robots are such different designs. But I imagine both of them are going to be trying to get underneath the other to try to use that weapon on the other and try to deal out some significant damage. Either way, this should be a complicated fight to predict here, but either way, let's get to it, because this should be fun. Time for this matchup to begin here, and now Micro circling around Razer, but Razer gets underneath to start this one. And Micro seems to think Razer is lower to the ground robot, and that's definitely what it seems to be so far, but now Micro getting underneath Razer and pinning them right in the corner here. Here, Micro trying to drop that saw, drops it right on that Crusher, but they lose the saw right there. We saw them to go weapon on weapon a little bit before that. I wonder if that Crusher dealt out some damage, but now it's Razer who has turned the tables. They now have a pin on Micro. Right now have them with that Crusher, digging it right into one of those forks, it looks like. Micro's swinging that arm right there. They're trying to get some damage or control points or whatever. But right now, Razer gotta let go at some point, and they have now. And now, Micro in the corner once again here. And now Razer has another pin, and they have them right by the frame right there. Not good for Micro right now, who's taking some significant damage from that Crusher, and right now they have him right into that weapon area, right into that frame right there. How much damage is Razer doing right now? It doesn't seem to be much, but holy crap, this is an excellent hold by Razer right there, penetrating that underside right near a wheel right there. Micro seemed to have a good start to this one, but now it seems to be Razer in full control, who has another hold on Micro. Micro's in some serious trouble right now, needs to self-right, but they don't seem like they were able to. Now they're trying to self-right, trying to get out of Razer's grip, but really struggling to do so here. Razer with such an excellent hold here on Micro. Just dropping that Crusher, trying to get through to that frame. And there goes a fork right there on Micro. And now Razer taking Micro into the corner once again here, and looking to drop that Crusher again, but right now Micro just needs to get out of there, because they are getting bodied by Razer like almost every second of this fight. And now Razer underneath Micro once again, dropping that Crusher to that other fork right there, and now dropping that Crusher right into the top of that frame right there. Micro has lost both their forks, but right now they are out pushing Razer right up against the rails, and they get a flip right there. That may have been just what Micro needed right there. Now Micro's just got to back off, and maybe a countdown will come on Razer. But no, they are continuing to come in for more, continuing to ram Razer. And that may have just saved Razer right there. Because imagine if Micro backed off right there, a countdown could have come on Razer. But regardless though, that Crusher seems to be in the down position. I wonder if Micro damaged it or something. But doesn't matter, because this fight is going to the judges right there. What an incredible showing from both these robots. And last second shot from the floor flipper right there. But yeah, this one's going to be interesting here, because it definitely was a pretty solid start, at least from the first few moments from both robots here. Razer getting underneath at the start, Micro getting a pin at one point that ended up resulting in them losing their saw. But then from there, Razer definitely controlled a huge chunk of that match right there. Pinning Micro many times, dropping that crusher in there, and dishing out some damage. But Micro definitely did not quit right there, because they got a few good pushing moments on Razer, managed to get a flip even on them, and that crusher, you see it was in the down position for about the remainder of the match. I wonder if Micro caused some damage to it, partway, at least most of the way through that match. Either way though, great stuff from both robots here, and let's hear what the judges had to say about this one. So the judges' votes are in, and we have a unanimous decision. The winner is Razer! Kind of went about the way I expected it to right there, because I felt those huge control moments that Razer had were key right there. But imagine if either robot backed up when the other one was completely immobile, and we could have seen a knockout. Either way though, we got a great 3 minutes of fun out of these two robots. Sadly, we'll have to say goodbye to Micro, who's definitely been a big name all season, but I hope we'll get to see Micro back once again for a bonus fight, or for next season, so. Alright, moving on, where we are going to go to the third quadrant, the 3-seated Electric Boogaloo, and the 14-seated Big Nipper. Yeah, so this one's definitely another battle between two very different designs, because on one hand we have Electric Boogaloo and that vertical spinner, and on the other side we have Big Nipper and that grabber and lifter. So, as for what this one's going to come down to, driving once again, because Big Nipper is definitely going to need to be avoiding that vertical spinner as much as possible, because Big Nipper has proven to be very susceptible to spinner attacks, and Electric Boogaloo is definitely one of the biggest ones out there. Regardless, this should definitely be a fun fight to see. We'll find out if Big Nipper can control the match with that lifter, which is surely what they're also going to be trying to do, or if Electric Boogaloo can get the shots they need and plow their way to victory. Here we go now, and Electric Boogaloo gained the sprint to speed. Big Nipper charging right in there, gets underneath, but takes a hit from the floor flipper. Now Electric Boogaloo landing some hits to the top and the sides of Big Nipper. Big hit by Electric Boogaloo, and we got smoke coming out from one side of Big Nipper right there. Not a good way for them to start this matchup off right there. And charging right in there, trying to go for another hit, but struggling to do so. Nice hit by Electric Boogaloo right there. Here once again, flipping Big Nipper, where they're definitely more susceptible to spinner attacks. And more smoke coming out of Big Nipper. Electric Boogaloo has definitely penetrated the top and the underside, and now landing hit after hit right there. Big Nipper is in some serious trouble right now. Another flip. Electric Boogaloo so dominant so far in this one. And Big Nipper stuck right now. They need to get out of there and fast here. And now they have, and now underneath Electric Boogaloo, can they try to dish out some significant damage right here? But unfortunately not a lot was done right there. Here. And right now Electric Boogaloo flipped over, but then they right themselves through their weapon and trying to get another hit right there. And right on the claw right there, landing a hit. And once again, now Electric Boogaloo charging in. Nice hit once again from Electric Boogaloo. And charging in there, and that's going to do it right there for Big Nipper. Saw the static shocks and proving that control board is down. And Electric Boogaloo, the 3-seed, will be moving on in this one. Yes, that was nearly relentless of a victory from Electric Boogaloo. Because, once again right there, just continuing to get that vertical spinner to full speed, and then just charging in there to then hit after hit on their opponent, and yeah, eventually get the control board kill. Look what they did right there. So lots of destruction from that vertical spinner, proving they are definitely a contender for most destructive robot. But award stuff will be coming later in this episode. So great win by Electric Boogaloo. They'll be moving on where they await the winner of what won't be our next matchup, but will be coming soon, the 6-seeded Thor and the 11-seeded Bullfrog. But before we get to that one, we're going to go over to the 4th quadrant and see that other matchup, where we got the 5-seeded Mute and the 12-seeded Aftershock. Yeah, and so on one side we got Mute, the 5th seed, the 5 seed right there. They're going up against another spinner here. They've definitely been well known for being a spinner killer, despite the fact that they fell to Carbide in their semifinal. But then Aftershock is still a vertical spinner you do not want to underestimate, because Mute's definitely proven to be vulnerable on the underside right there, and so if Aftershock can get underneath and start shredding apart that underside, Mute could definitely be in some serious trouble. But on the other hand, if Mute can get underneath Aftershock from the start and start landing hits from that front hinged flipper, Aftershock will definitely struggle to land the hits they are looking for. So, another great matchup is on the way. Let's go ahead and get right to this one. Time for this matchup to begin. Both robots kind of being in the middle here. Aftershock trying to get some hits on the sides right there, landing a few nice clinching blows to the side. Once again, challenging the front. Not sure if that's wise from Aftershock right now to be doing this right now, because Mute is a very low to the ground robot, as is Aftershock. So Aftershock kind of tipping forward, landing a few glancing blows around that flipper right there. Aftershock backs off, and now Mute underneath them, landing a few nice flips right there and taking Aftershock into the corner. Great stuff from Mute right there. Great moment for them to take advantage of. And now Aftershock charging in there, trying to rip apart the sides of Mute once again, but really struggling to do so. Mute's durability is incredible in this competition. Nice flip right there from Mute. Another nice flip of taking Aftershock into the corner once again, and now Aftershock trying to get some hits on the sides, and now they have Mute right into the corner right there, lifting them up right there, and now striking the top, but not sure how much damage they are doing so far. Another nice flip from Mute, who is currently knocking Aftershock off balance. Now Aftershock landing a glancing blow to the side right there. More nice flips from Mute right there. Back and forth showdown so far. But up comes one of those vertical spinners. That is a huge moment so far. Mute starting to tear apart. Aftershock starting to have weapon problems like what we've seen in the past so far. And this is of no exception right there. Many more nice flips coming from that front hinged flipper of Mute, who once again is just tossing Aftershock around. And now Mute continuing to flip and gets Aftershock out of the arena, and that's going to do it for one of the deadliest vertical spinners in this competition. And Mute will advance. So yeah, another great showdown. Once again, we got to see some back and forth action, but really the determining factor of this match, the turning point, was when Aftershock started having weapon problems once again. We've seen Aftershock's vertical spinner break several times throughout the season, and that's pretty much what happened here in this match. So yeah, Mute definitely then controlled the battle from there with that front hitch flipper, and then eventually got Aftershock all the way out of the arena in order to seal the deal in this one and seal their spot in the next round, where they have an interesting challenge coming in, Razer. And so, but that should be a great matchup that will be coming in the next episode. But regardless, we got 2 fights left to go, and sadly enough, 4 of the 6 robots that advanced from the last bracket have fought so far in this episode, and none of them have won so far. The last 2 fights of the night do feature the last 2 robots, so let's see if either of them can get a win, and hopefully. This just proves that the runner-ups are not underestimating those robots, and probably that longer amount of repair time ever since their semifinal definitely helped them a lot here, while the others had who knows how many, between like 3 to 4 fights. So regardless, fun stuff to see. Let's go ahead and move on, where we're going to go to the 2-seeded Toxic 2 and the 15-seeded Beast 2, which I imagine people that know this mod well, this is probably the matchup they are most looking forward to. Because these are 2 powerful flippers right there. They're between Toxic 2 and Beast 2. We always love a good flipper battle. So I'm betting this fight's going to come down to who can get underneath the other, who can land the better flips, and who can control the fight the best. A lot is on the line in this one, and this one definitely could go either way, I imagine. So let's go ahead and get right to this one and find out who's going to advance to the next round. Time for this flipper battle to begin. And now Toxic 2 driving circles around him. Beast 2 lands the first flip, proving they are lower to the ground. Toxic 2 trying to self-right. There they go, they self-right. Now trying to get some breathing room. Toxic 2 trying to charge right in there. Challenging Beast 2's size. We got a ground game war right here. Nice flip from Beast 2 once again. And another nice flip from Beast 2. Ooh, Toxic 2 currently off balance and right now in the corner right now. And now Toxic 2 trying to charge in there, but been struggling to get underneath Beast 2 once again. Beast 2 off to a phenomenal start here. But now Toxic 2 getting underneath and letting a few nice flips of their own. Oh, another nice flip from Toxic 2. Another beautiful flip once again. Toxic 2 starting to take control back of this match. And now Beast 2 is the one that needs the breathing room. Nice flip from Toxic 2 once again, nearing the pit. And down the pit goes Beast 2. Oh, an unforeseen series of events right there. But what a flipper battle that was between those two robots. So yeah, very early on, Beast 2 was the one winning the ground game in between these two, and just winning flip after flip on Toxic 2 right there. But then Toxic 2 got the breathing room they needed and got underneath Beast 2 to reverse that and started landing a ton of flips of their own. With the fact that the pit of Oblivion was open after one of those previous moments that knocked one of those two robots into the pit button, Toxic 2 ended up tossing Beast 2 down the pit of Oblivion, and the 2 seed will be advancing. Where awaiting them will be Dystopia, another powerful flipper, the 10 seed in this bracket. I imagine Toxic 2 is going to have another tough matchup ahead of them. It should be fun regardless, but we got one more fight left to go in this episode, and it is between the 6-seeded Thor and the 11-seeded Bullfrog. So yeah, on one side we got Thor right there with that powerful axe once again, and definitely well known for the destruction it has caused, but it has faced some reliability problems in the past. And they definitely will need to avoid them. Hopefully they got that fixed during their time while the third place bracket was going on. Their opponent will be Bullfrog, who's had a crazy amount of fights in between right there. But Bullfrog is not one to underestimate. Bullfrog's durability has proven to be fantastic. There's also the fact that that flipper is very powerful. But Thor has some very good ground game of their own. So a lot is on the line with this one. I think this one's gonna be a very interesting showdown, as several of the others have been. And I could see this one definitely going either way, because both of these robots, they do have some similarities other than that primary weapon, and I imagine this is going to be a very interesting showdown. Let's go ahead and get right to it. Time for this matchup to begin. I imagine this is going to be a big driving war between these two, and now Thor landing some very early shots in with that hammer. And now getting underneath Bullfrog, and now Bullfrog getting a lift of their own right there. And another nice lift from Bullfrog over here. And now Thor coming in with that axe and pulverizing the top of Bullfrog right there. And now Bullfrog landing a few beautiful flips right there. Another nice flip, not giving Thor an inch in this one. This is exactly what Bullfrog needs to do. Who's starting to win the driving war between these two robots right there. Thor gets the breathing room they need and starts landing some more nice hits right there. And now Bullfrog appears to be stuck, but now Thor taking advantage of that, striking that top right under the flipper with that axe. Once again, Bullfrog needs to get out of there and fast right now. But right now, Thor is just not giving them an inch right now. Great start to this fight, great first minute of this match. 2 more great minutes are hopefully on the way right now. But Thor just lost the axe right there. But clearly those repairs that Thor made had come undone once again. And all that stuff. And right now Thor needs to control this match, but they need to not get flipped. Like that right there right now. And all that stuff. And now Thor is on their head right now. And Bullfrog letting flip after flip right there. This is exactly what Bullfrog needs. Thor is stuck upside down. Oh, is that going to be it for the axe spot? Yes, it is, but not in the way people expected. I think lots of people expected a countdown, but Bullfrog just decided why not toss him out of the arena and did that, and the champ of the last bracket will be moving on to the next round. How about that from that frog robot? Unfortunately, it looks like Thor's repairs for the axe was not enough for this one, because they ended up losing that axe partway through after landing several beautifully timed shots. But then as soon as that axe was lost right there, Bullfrog just needed one flip. And while they did land many, they did still get the KO by flinging Thor out of the arena. Bullfrog being the one robot out of the 6 robots that advanced to go to the top 8. But great road from them. Sadly, we'll have to say goodbye to the 8 robots who fell in tonight's episode. Eric, Manta, Micro, Aftershock, these 2, Brea Box, Big Nipper, and Thor. We'll have to say goodbye to all 8 of them, but we'll have to thank them though for all the entertainment they brought us this season, and I hope we'll get to see several of these robots in a bonus fight coming later. But not everybody can get bonus fights because there'll be a one episode. This will be a 1 episode thing, as well as an extra event that will be coming later. But regardless, we got one last thing to talk about before we close out this episode, and that one thing is awards. So my plan is to do awards this season, and like several other great Robot Arena 2 competitions do. And I want everyone who views this. I want everyone's help who views these episodes right there, because I definitely appreciate all the support I get from a lot of y'all, and definitely I want you all to help me out with determining these, because it's boring if I was to choose all of these myself. I want to make sure the right ones get chosen. So comment down below who you think should win these 5 awards. The first one is the classic one from BattleBots, Most Destructive. We're at 4 nominations for it. And then there's a last option where if you disagree with my 4 options, if you feel somebody else should indeed get one of those, get that spot instead of my 4 nominations, comment down below who you think that should be. Yeah, my nominations for this are Aftershock, Carbide, Shredderator, and Swarm, who I felt caused the most chaos in the arena. But then I have that 5th option right there in case if you disagree and think somebody else is a little more worthy of that award than the others. Then award number 2, we have Best Design, where my 4 nominations for that are Eric, Micro, Batspinner, and Razer. This can come down to most unique design, best looking design, or whatever, basically. Because there are a few others that I was thinking of that I wanted to include, like let's see, Gripper and Mantis were 2 others I was thinking of. But regardless though, definitely comment below who you think should win the Best Design Award, even if it's somebody that I did not include in the nomination section. Then award number 3, Rookie of the Year, which my nominations for that are grand finalists Apollo, Carbide, Neutron, and Toxic 2. But then of course there are several more. There were so many rookies for this season, and definitely this one was a difficult one to choose. And let us know if there's somebody else that you felt should win that Rookie of the Year award. Then award number 4, we have Dark Horse, basically a robot who competed in the previous season, where they make a very unexpected run in this one. And yeah, there are several big names who could definitely be worthy of that. I nominated Bullfrog, Eric, Mute, and because I actually couldn't think of anybody else, I just put Spitfire down there for the fun of it. But if there's any robots that you think should be winning the Dark Horse nomination, definitely comment down below, or whether you think it's one of my nominations, or if you think it's somebody else. And then the last one, which I only have 1 option for that, because I want to hear from you guys what you guys think for this one. The Fan Favorite Award, where you'll comment down below whom you think was the most entertaining to watch, whom you think is the most fun design, or whatever it is. So, regardless, comment down below for all 5 of these awards, and yeah, and these awards will be announced at the end of the bonus fights episode, which will happen at the end of the main competition. So yeah, now that that's done with, let's go ahead and check out the second round of this bracket right here, where we see, next time we'll see the 1-seed 900, who's going to take on the 8-seed PP3D. Over on the other side, we got the 2-seed Toxic 2 and the 10-seed Dystopia Then right down below, the 3-seated electric Boogaloo and the 11-seated Bullfrog. And then last but not least, on the other side, we have the 4-seated Razer and the 5-seated Fhqwhgads. I think it's anyone's game for which 5 out of these 8 robots are going to get those grand final spots. But a lot is on the line. We're going to see some more great fights coming next time. So, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. As usual, comment down below your votes for those 5 awards and whom you think will be the 5 robots advancing to the next round. Who do you think will be the best 5? Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you